Coming up on 5 Minute News. Biden pleads with senators, don't jam through Ginsburg nominee. Leak reveals $2 trillion of corrupt U.S. financial activity. And Southern California wildfires grow. It's Monday, September 21. I'm Anthony Davis. On Sunday, Joe Biden slammed Donald Trump and leading Senate Republicans for trying to jam through a replacement for the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg and urged more senators to stand with a pair of GOP colleagues who opposed the election season rush. The extraordinary televised plea from the Democratic presidential candidate to Republican senators reflected the ferocious maneuvering that has followed Ginsburg's death at 87 on Friday. Her passing upended a campaign that had until then focused on Trump's handling of the coronavirus pandemic, the nation's economic collapse, and racial unrest that has stoked protests in U.S. cities. Trump has said he intends within days to name a woman to succeed the liberal icon, and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell was moving toward the first hearings this week. Just hours before Biden spoke, a second Republican senator, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, joined Senator Susan Collins of Maine in opposing efforts to fill Ginsburg's seat before the next president is elected. It takes 4 Republicans to break ranks to keep Trump's nominee off the court. Attention quickly focused on Senator Mitt Romney of Utah, who voted to convict Trump in 1 count of impeachment, and Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa, a former chairman of the Judiciary Committee. Biden acknowledged that those Republicans and others like them were his target audience when he warned that Trump's plan was an abuse of power. Uphold your constitutional duty, your conscience, said Biden, speaking in battleground Pennsylvania. Let the people speak. Cool the flames that have engulfed our country. There was little chance of calm overtaking the historic campaign as voting progressed and the death toll from the virus reached 200,000 Americans. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi referred to the House having options she did not name to stall or prevent the Senate from confirming Ginsburg's successor to the lifetime job. The House has no formal role in the confirmation of Supreme Court justices, but Pelosi would not rule out a new round of impeachment proceedings that might divert the Senate's attention, though that route seems unlikely. Republicans hold a 53-47 edge in the Senate. If there were a 50-50 tie, it could be broken by Vice President Mike Pence. Trump has claimed he is obligated to act as soon as possible and has at least 2 women in mind for the seat. Most Republicans concurred on the need for speed, and one named a practical reason. The 9-member court, argued Senator Ted Cruz of Texas, must be full if called upon to decide the outcome of a disputed presidential election. Thousands of documents detailing $2 trillion of potentially corrupt transactions that were washed through the U.S. financial system have been leaked to an international group of investigative journalists. The leak focuses on more than 2,000 suspicious activity reports filed with the U.S. government's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. Banks and other financial institutions file SARs when they believe a client is using their services for potential criminal activity. However, the filing of a SAR does not require the bank to cease doing business with the client in question. The documents were provided to BuzzFeed News, which shared them with the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists. The documents are said to suggest major banks provided financial services to high-risk individuals from around the world, in some cases even after they'd been placed under sanctions by the US government. According to the ICIJ, the documents relate to more than $2 trillion of transactions dating back from between 1999 and 2017. One of those named in the SARs is Paul Manafort, a political strategist who led Donald Trump's 2016 presidential election campaign. He stepped down from the role after his consultancy work for former Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych was exposed, and he was later convicted of fraud and tax evasion. According to the ICIJ, banks began flagging activity linked to Manafort as suspicious beginning in 2012. In 2017, JP Morgan Chase filed a report on wire transfers worth over $300 million involving shell companies in Cyprus that had done business with Manafort. A separate report details over $1 billion in wire transfers by JP Morgan Chase that the bank later came to suspect an alleged Russian organized crime boss who is named on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list. In a statement, FinCEN condemned the disclosure of the leaked documents and said it had referred the matter to the U.S. Department of Justice. The destruction wrought by a wind-driven wildfire in the mountains northeast of Los Angeles approached 156 square miles on Sunday, burning structures, homes, and a nature center in a famed Southern California wildlife sanctuary in foothill desert communities. Firefighters were, however, able to defend Mount Wilson, which overlooks Greater Los Angeles in the San Gabriel Mountains and has an historic observatory founded more than a century ago and numerous broadcast antennas serving Southern California from the Bobcat fire. The fire started on September 6 and has already doubled in size over the last week, becoming one of LA County's largest wildfires in history. The blaze is 15% contained, as teams attempt to determine the scope of the destruction in the area about 50 miles northeast of downtown LA. Thousands of residents in the foothill communities of the Antelope Valley were ordered to evacuate on Saturday as winds pushed the flames into the Juniper Hills. The wildfire also destroyed the Nature Center at Devil's Punch Bowl Nature Area, a geological wonder that attracts some 130,000 visitors each year. Statewide, nearly 19,000 firefighters continue to fight more than 24 major wildfires. More than 7,900 have burned more than 5,468 square miles in California this year, including many since a mid-August barrage of dry lightning ignited parched vegetation. You can subscribe to 5 Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5 Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Please subscribe, rate and review us at 5minute.news. 5 Minute News is an independent production covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering unbiased, verified and truthful world news daily.